Welcome to Your Left Politics. I'm your host, superior host of Why I Hate Politics podcast. And with all of the Democratic Socialists, all the progressives that have been winning in the past year has been pretty astonishing. And it says a lot of how our political understanding as a country is changing for the better. I'm a progressive, so I'm extremely biased in this, but with all the winning that we have been doing in the primaries, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of these old talking points, these myths are starting to arise again. And it is our job to debunk or to try to fill the void of the misunderstanding of what a democratic socialist is and the policies that we actually advocate for. So in this video, I'm going to try my best to debunk the greatest myths of what a democratic socialist is. So here is 3 lies that they tell you about democratic socialists. And number 1 is democratic socialism always leads to authoritarian control. And of course, that is false. And here's why. First, economic systems and political systems are different. An economic system such as capitalism or socialism determines how resources are owned and allocated, while a political system determines how power is exercised and limited. So this first portion right here is pretty simple to understand. Economic structures and political structures are different components that make a country. And the weaker the political system is, the more vulnerable authoritarian control is, regardless of its economic structure. And here's a few examples. So here's the truth about this myth. Democratic socialists urge the economy should prioritize people over concentrated corporate power. They generally advocate policies such as stronger labor rights, universal public services, progressive taxation, and greater worker influence in the workplace, while maintaining democratic institutions like free elections and constitutional protections. So, democratic socialism is an economic philosophy that seeks to change how the economy serves the people over corporations. And this is within a democracy, and sometimes even to seek to strengthen these institutions and democracy. So here is myth number 2. Democratic socialists want the government to own everything. And here is why this is false. Democratic socialists generally urge that essential services such as healthcare should be accessible to everyone regardless of income. They often support public provision, public financing, or public ownership of these services because they believe essential needs should be guided primarily by the public interest rather than profit. And Bernie Sanders said it best. Healthcare is a human right. Everybody, regardless of your income, your race, your gender, your immigration status, we should all have access to high quality healthcare. So why should healthcare be in a state to where it can make profit for a corporation? That is crazy. So here's a few more examples of the decommodification of programs. All right, last but not least, number 3, and that is democratic socialism kills innovation and economic growth. And of course, that is false. Here's why. Democratic socialists generally don't argue that profits should disappear. Instead, many argue that markets can still drive innovation while government also plays a major role in creating the conditions for innovation. So the debate is about whether the government should focus more on helping private businesses or investing in people and public services. And with one example is education. Here's a few examples on how our government can invest in education that will invest in people that will invest in our economy. This is pretty simple to understand. The more money you give to private corporations, the more profit they could get. Or you can invest into people's knowledge or their skill set, and that will raise productivity, innovation, and economic growth over time. So, this debate isn't about democratic socialism and misinterpreting labels. It's about how we believe a economy should work. It's the role of the government should play and how to balance individual freedoms, economic opportunities, and the public good. And in my humble opinion, as a democratic socialist, I believe this is a system that prioritizes the people first. Because when you do that, then you have a country that is for the people and not the very few. So once again, guys, I appreciate you guys clicking this video. If you found any worth or any substance from this type of content, go ahead, subscribe, like this video, share it with your ignorant friends that need to hear something like this, and I will see you guys next Monday for the next video.